We can make a start now. Super excited about today's class. It's been something that I've been looking at for a while, this Rosette. And so it was fun to finally have a go at cracking it. It's the one we'll do today is a sort of slight variation on the original, and I'll explain that later, but it's really fun. It's the way the geometry, curvilinear geometry mixes in with the biomorphs. So we are going to start with some slides. So as always, I'm going to just start with this little intention for the session. May we be all guided by truth. May we have beauty revealed to us, and may it result in the good. All right. So I thought I'd share a few images of artwork that's come in through the week. This is an old class. Oh, actually, this is from, I taught for PSDA on the MA this week. So this is one of the old sessions that we did. I think this is called Dynamic Biomorphic on the online archive. I really love the colors in this one. The original is a plaster carving, but it's got a lot of nice feeling in there. And some stunning rosettes coming in from the Indo-Malayan workshops that we did, the mandala pieces. These are just absolutely gorgeous. This one was yesterday. I'm not sure if this Alephia is your original one, just in black and white, but it's very atmospheric. I love it. Rahana's piece always coming up, always sort of going that extra mile, extra ornate, extra beautiful rendering. Arij too, going for the dark atmosphere, kind of museum quality. This one was nice too. This came in yesterday, very subtle, nice pencil work. This is great, yeah. I mean, it's what I love about these patterns is that once they get handed over to you guys in the rendering, just changes everything and everyone makes it very individual. And this looks almost quite like a tapestry, a heraldic tapestry from Venice, or with those acanthus leaves. A really strong piece, graphic piece. And then Inez, as you guys probably all know by now, putting in the hours and turning this piece into an incredible rendering. This is looking fantastic. I'm actually talking to Inez at the moment about maybe getting herself and Margie and a few others to give some rendering demos, just some shading techniques and things on the class. So look out for that. We might have like a sort of little session where we have maybe 4 or 5 people come and give their thoughts and ideas for how to decorate these patterns. And then this was great. I love this. Building a cake from the Lutfala Dome. It's making me very hungry, but it's very seasonal. Okay, so today's pattern is from the Sultan Hasan mosque, which is a very famous Mamluk mosque from the 13th century. Was it the 14th? I think it's 1310 or something. It's the 14th century, just beginning of the 14th century. It has this incredible atrium, so it's like a big vast entrance. It's so dramatic and covered in decoration, and actually most of the decorations here, because when you go into the mosque itself, this decoration is very sparse. So you walk up these stairs. This is an ancient picture, but it's pretty similar today. And the piece we're working on are just either side of the door, so they're kind of just out of shot in this drawing. But those big niches, they're just to the right of those niches. And here is the image itself. It's carved in marble. I was hoping to do the top part as well, because it's all kind of based on a nice root 2 proportion. But having worked on this last night, I think we're better err on the side of caution because there's quite a lot inside the rosette to work on. So this is a front-on view, and I'm not sure if you can make them out. The rosettes aren't the ones that you can see in plain sight, either in the bottom right and left-hand corner. They're just inside of that. So, for example, if you counted in one of those little filigree pieces on the balcony, it would be just behind that, either side of the door. In fact, you can see it just behind our group. So this was on one of I think this may have been our last study trip or one of our study trips to Cairo. Seems like a dream now, but we used to spend most of our year going to these places and studying these patterns on site. And I'm not sure if any of the people in shot are with us today. Maybe Susan. I think Susan's in that shot there in the middle. Susan, Sama. Yeah, the good old days when we used to be able to travel. And Scylla's there, and then you can see Richard there at the back. I mean, who knows what's going to happen this year? Oh my goodness, seems like impossible. But if we do have miracle vaccines, then we may even get a study trip in, maybe to Granada at the end of the year. We can live in hope. So these are just some inspirational images from Cairo to get us in the mood. Mamluk Cairo, it's all about the light. And what's incredible, it's obviously there's a lot of poverty and a lot of the monuments have been overlooked, but it means you can have access to them. You can really just walk around, you can pay a bit of baksheesh and go up the minarets, and you can take rubbings. And so for an artist studying these patterns, it's a great opportunity. Just to give you a bit of a background, the Mamluks were around sort of between the mid-13th century to the beginning of the 16th century. And they were actually, Mamluk means, well, there might be some debate about this, but it basically means white slave, because the Mamluks were from Central Asia, and they were the sort of almost like the Janissaries within the Levant until they ruthlessly took over. And a lot of the artwork was produced in that time within the Mamluk period. But some mosques, like the Ibn Tulun Mosque, was built very early on, like in the sort of early 9th century. And then within that, you have Mamluk details. So there's a bit of a mix-up. But most things we'll see will be built in the Mamluk period. And then the Ottomans were there after that. And most of the Ottoman kind of influence were decorating the Mamluk buildings. So you get some zilij and some elements, some decorative elements on the mosques. So if you ever get to go to Cairo, one of the wonderful things is that there is one street, or there's kind of one north-south passageway which passes all the main monuments. It's called Muiza Street to begin with. So we're kind of looking from the north to the south. And we usually take this route with our students. Some of the beautiful houses are on the way, like Beit Naomi. The Sultan Hasan Mosque is the one right at the top of the image. So you have to go all the way down through Muiza Street, across a hell-raising road, through the Al Ghuri complex, through the kite makers bazaar, and then you get to Sultan Hasan right at the top there, which is actually on the southernmost point. So it sort of sits on its own, but it's an incredible monument. If you're new to Islamic art, there are three fundamental aspects: the geometric, which is usually the foundation; the biomorphic, which is the more free-flowing cursive elements; and then the calligraphic. This pattern is going to have a geometric foundation, which most biomorphic patterns do. And the center is going to be a woven curvilinear geometry. So the spirals, the woven spirals will all be drawn with the compass. And then the outside part motifs will draw by hand. So I'm going to just show you a few of the monumental features from Cairo. These are the incredible domes, Rumi and geometric patterns, so you can see the two interlocking. So for those of you who may have done some classes with me before, there's a particular style called the Rumi style, which is this like one half of the yin yang with ornamental features within it. And the Mamluks took this and made it, embellished it, and it became, so these Topalic and Rumi shapes became much more ornate. It's a beautiful dome. This is from Kite Bay in the City of the Dead. This is another image from the City of the Dead, because it's a sort of a graveyard, which is eventually turned into a sort of inhabited place. There's some more examples here, beautiful domes from the City of the Dead. One of the other features you'll see are the minarets, and as I say, if you pay enough bakshish, you're allowed to sort of, someone will usher you in and you can climb up. I remember when I was going up once, I think I was the first one to go up for years and years. Had to sort of kick a lot of dust out of the way, but you get these incredible views of the other minarets down the street. Here's some examples of how they would have been carved in situ, because it's not really like you can take the elements pre-carved and insert them. You have to just get these big blocks which can be roughed out, and then the carving will be done up scaffolding. A bit of a scary occupation. Kundakari, which is the sort of Turkish word for the interlocking woodwork, is the other main feature. These are geometric modular shapes which create big patterns on the minbars and various woodwork. And then they'll have biomorphic elements carved inside, either in ivory or wood or mother of pearl. Here's some examples. These are from the Ibn Tulun Mosque minbar, which we did a pattern on. Incredible light. So this is another example of a niche and stone carving. This is a really, I wish I could remember the name of this place, but I can only sometimes I can find it. It's quite mysterious. It's hidden away in a back street, and I think it's a techie, so it's where the Sufis would go to well. And sometimes when I'm in Cairo, I find it, and other times I can never find it. But it has incredible ornamentation on the outside, which I want to do some studies on. I love this geometric shamsa you see on the side too. So this is just one part of this big dome. So one of the features you'll see are the ablak, something famously used in the Cordoba Mesquita. So you have these alternating stones, and they would either be different stones or there'd be limestone that would be dipped in a pigment. So quite often it's red, cream, or black. And the black and white, apparently the ablak comes from, the root comes from a black and white horse. So here's some examples here, and you can see all the chisel marks and the dressing on the stone. And unfortunately, there's some really ropey restoration there. So sometimes just to kind of give the sense of the ablak, people have just gone on with emulsion or something and painted onto the stonework, which is a bit of a shame. Here's some other examples of interlocking stonework using the motifs, and this is something really common on the lintels above the doors. I think this is an example from Kite Bay again. Corbels and morcanas, beautiful ribbed work that you'll see, another main feature, very unique to Cairo. The crenellations are either cut out of wood. I think the bottom one actually is more of a Moorish version, but you'll see these other crenellations all around the courtyards of the mosques. And it's often the counter shapes that are very important. So we'll find that when we're drawing the biomorphs, it's not just the shapes themselves, it's the counter shapes that are drawn. And it's just beautiful. It's like an extra line of angels lined up to pray. These are some of the other crenellations. Oh no, this is a version of that, isn't it? Yeah, this is a picture I took. You can see the moon in the background there. Other forms of morcanas, corbels, so these are the transitions in the niches between the flat surface or between, in squinches and pendentives between the walls and the dome. They're filled with these beautiful carved pattern work. Sometimes there'll be inserted wood cut into sections like you see in the middle example there. And yeah, our teacher Keith was always stressing the importance of having like a dome or an arch to move through, because he was describing our subtle body as having this form. So he, you know, a ceiling is the seal, but if you have this open arcing form which just moves your subtle body towards the heavens, you feel a lot more comfortable. And I mean, fortunately, in some of the buildings we have in the UK, you know, the Georgian buildings, they still have that kind of understanding where they had, especially the living room would be very tall. These are based on different ideas, like Palladian ideas of harmonic proportions of the room, where, you know, they use a musical fifth or a musical harmony to create the proportions, so that you have like not just a kind of resonance in the room, but also like space for your extension, the extension of yourself. I always find this too if I go into a building, if I move in, you know, I'm in a flat which has a low ceiling, I always end up having to put everything on the floor, so I can breathe.
Are there any book recommendations for Islamic art and architecture and Islamic design from the era?
Oh yeah, there's a fantastic book which I will show you when I screen share. It's got a whole load of Priscilla Devan's engravings. You can look at those. So we also have these, the bronze work on the doors, the filigree casting, incredible shamsas, really otherworldly. And hopefully one day I'll do a class on these, because I've done a few studies, but they're quite complex. Here's another beautiful one, really stunning. There's something about gateways and doorways and passages and the way that you're invited in. We also have these incredible door knockers too, using the same systems, and you can see those roomy shapes with the decorative features. That's going to be quite key, the way that that patterning is very unique to the Mamluks, and that's what we're going to be inserting into our design work today. We also have these beautiful wrought iron windows, which I'm not going to go too much into now, but we might talk a little bit about the domes. These are some examples of how the domes are built, using this stick, which is on a pivot and spun around. Often it will have at the end of the stick a little shelf, which the bricks are placed on, just to make sure that when it's complete, it will make an arc. I think I'm just going to skip through some of these. These are the incredible intrados features that you'll see in the arches of Ibn Tulun. I like these. I wanted to also investigate these for a class. I've done a few sketches when I'm there. They're very simple, sort of Byzantine style imagery, but it's just a very pivotal time when there's a crossover of styles. You have these old forms mixing with the new, the sort of burgeoning Islamic style. It's just finding itself. And then there's also this incredible plaster stucco carving too, which is very different and unique to the Moroccan plaster carving you'll see. Okay, and oh yeah, before we go on, we must actually look at the mashrabiyah. That's what Cairo is famous for. So mashrabiyah are these windows, obviously without glass, but all of the elements are turned by hand and slotted together, and there are no nails or glue, and everything just holds itself together. Very beautiful. So you have these oriel windows, mashrabiyah windows all along the streets. And this is just for a way for people to look out without being seen, and for the air to be circulating. Okay, well, we can go on and on. Hopefully this has given you a bit of a sense of Cairo and the different architectural elements that you'll find there. So let's get straight to it. Now, I'm not sure how long this is going to take, so it did take me a little bit of time, even though it seems fairly simple. So I'm going to just go straight into the pattern. I'm quite excited to share this one. you go. So you need an A3 sheet, and we're going to start with the horizontal line. And why do I not have you? Not really, no, because it's going to be based inside a square. So long as your design is inside a square, you're going to be all right.
And Susan is asking the book you recommended. You mentioned.
Okay, sure. Just 1 second. I'll find it for you. So there's a couple of books for you. Okay, hopefully you've taken a screenshot. This one is more historic. This one is great. This one has loads of fantastic drawings and prints, and it's a really good asset for your library. And in fact, a lot of people are using those early kind of colonial drawings now as a reference to restore the mosques. Okay, so I find the center.
I'll write down the chat.
Okay, so our main circle is going to be 13, I'd go for 13 centimeters, which is about 5 inches. I'm going to put that in the chat box. So 13 inches, 13 centimeters or 5 inches. So if you haven't met Ling already, Ling has been helping out in the studio, so she's helping with the classes. We'll get Layla back one day too. She's around doing her stuff, busy with her own projects at the moment. I think she's working with the wooden books at the moment. Yeah. Right? So I'm going to find the very center. "13 centimeters. So 13 centimeter radius. All right, then we're going to place the compass where the circle crossed the horizontal line, and we're going to make a curve. So we're not going to make the curve right the way through. We just want to create these little ear shapes in the corners. So the radius hasn't changed yet. Just putting in these curves so that we can divide the circle into 4. Right, well, if you're working horizontal, you will have to change the radius now to get in the bisection. So I'm going to place my compass where the... it's up to you really. I've got this nice piece of stained paper, but it's really up to you whether you're going to paint on the original drawing or whether you want to trace it onto a new sheet for your painting. So I'm reducing, if you're working the same orientation as me, I'm reducing my compass to about 7 centimeters in order to fit on the paper. It's only I just have to reduce the radius for the bisection. That's all. To create this bisection, I have to reduce the radius a little. Okay, that's all. I think most people understand the bisections now. And then I'm going to put in the vertical line, but I've got a little spider. I'm going to try and avoid squashing. Just wait for him to move out the way. Okay, he's gone. Yeah. Okay, so you have a vertical line. Now we can return to our original radius. Remember, if you're new to geometry, you don't want to go back to your original radius by measuring on a ruler. Just go back by measuring out on your work. So what I'm going to do here is just open my compass up so that the pencil meets the horizontal line. Then I'm going to shift around and draw in these little tips of our petals. So just keeping the internal parts clear, basically. So original radius, just make sure it's going to tangent the horizontal line, and then draw an arc. Very basic stuff for most of you now. All right, from there, we can put in the vertical line, the diagonal lines. So then we need these radial lines from the tips of the petals through the very center of the composition. And then, yeah, I'll give you a moment to do that. Well, you should have started with the horizontal line. So you should have vertical, horizontal, and now also diagonal or radial, because we haven't really got a square yet. And these radial lines. After you've done that, we'll draw in a static square. And then after that, we're going to put in a dynamic square. Very classic, yeah, very classy. I'm sure you guys all been here before many times. You're all still in your comfort zone. Okay, I'll give you a moment to get that 8-pointed star drawn in. Once you have that, next stage is to draw in the radial lines in between. So where the static and dynamic square cross, that's going to give us a further division of the circle. And give us more radial lines. Excuse me. Okay, let's put those divisions in. Wow, we're rocking. 7 minutes and we already almost have all the geometric template. Okay, so we're going to now put in this proportioning line. So this red line, we can just put in that vertical red line. And And we need that there so that we can find this radius right here. And that radius is important. It's going to be our central rosette. So you might as well draw that full vertical red line and then you've got it there for reference for the future. Remember, there are some options to zoom into the screen. If you need to zoom in, you can zoom in yourself. Okay, so hopefully you have this circle right here. And the radius is determined by that red line that we've drawn in, and that's using the points where the static and dynamic square cross. Yeah. Yeah, you could just make a mark on the horizontal. You don't necessarily need to draw the full line. I mean, sometimes it's good to have it there to remind you how you found it. Okay, so I'd like you to retain the same radius. And then we're going to place our compass point where that circle crosses. Just going to check my radius is still the same. And then I'm going to make a mark on the circle here and here. So the radius hasn't changed. It's the radius of the circle. And I'm making those two marks, which I'll highlight for you. So that's the radius you're opening up to. And then making a mark here on the circle, and then here. Just swinging the compass around. Okay, presuming that you will have that. Now, we're going to make a line between those points. Oh, so it stays the same radius, yeah, like the red radius there. So it's the radius of the circle, the small circle. Now we're going to make a line between those points. So this line you draw in this green line. This is green vertical line. This is another proportionate line for a small circle. And once you've drawn that circle, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. I'm going to zoom the camera in so we can take a closer look at that circle because there's going to be a lot going on in there. Okay, so we'll have 2 minutes, 2-minute catch up. I'll put some little Mamluk artifacts out. Yes. So this is why I just put a little, this is like a little Mamluk mashrabiyah made by an artist friend of mine who actually, his workshop's very close to Sultan Hasan. I'd say this is like an intermediate class. If you're a beginner, you'll be okay. Just stick with us. We're in it together and ask Ling whatever questions you like, and she'll relay them to me. Okay, now we're going to go for an extreme close-up. And I'm going to get a bit more light on there because it's England and it's dark already. It's snowing and dark. Let's see how I get on with that. Camera might be a little bit in my way. And stop my video just to make it super extra fast for you. Sorry? Oh yes, yeah. What was it called again? Something Hasan or Hasan something. Oh, Sadi Dome. Sadi Dome. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's one of my favorite places there. Very mysterious place. All right, so now we're going to draw this proportioning circle. So the radius is determined by that line we drew in. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase my little proportioning line now because so remember we first have found these marks here and here, and we drew this line, and then I've just opened my compass up from the center to that proportion line. So the radius is determined by this line right here. Okay, this paper doesn't like me rubbing up. That's not a good sign. It's got one shot. So now we're going to make a series of marks on this circle. So I'm making the marks, I'll annotate them too. That's not a circle. So every other point on that small circle, starting from the vertical, So even if you're pretty proficient and experienced, it's still well worth putting a little mark on those, because once you get involved in the next stage, it's a bit hard to see what's going on if you don't have those marks there. So I'll give you a moment just to put a little red dot on those. Oh, this is exciting. This is a very beautiful pattern. You're going to love this. It's going to start to come to life now. All right. So we're going to take the radius between two of these points. So you kind of skip one. So this is our radius here. You can't see that. Something more garish. So this is our radius. And that's going to stay the same for all of these operations. And we're going to draw a series of curves. You see, so we go from that dot up to the larger circle. I haven't made any notes because it's got to that stage now where I'm preparing the classes as we go. So when I first did the classes, I would have lots of handouts, but those classes took me months to prepare. Now it's as we go. So anyhow, you can watch the recording of the video. You can always go back, and maybe you could even take screenshots of the stages if you like, or just take some pictures on your phone. Maybe that would be a way to do it. But yeah, like the thing is, like sometimes I like to teach a couple of times before I make any handouts, because I always adapt the way I do it each time, get a bit of a cleaner result. Okay, so I want to show you, in essence, what we're doing is drawing a curve there, and then we're going to draw a curve from this side. Okay, to make that little arch shape. But while the compass is in that position, we can also come around here and we can draw that curve down here too, right? It just ends, if you imagine we're drawing a curve between the two circles, between the smaller and the larger circle. And as long as your compass is the same right radius and you're positioning the point on one of those red dots, you should be okay. But I just want you to recognize that you can draw two of the arcs at the same time. Theirs is not what? If it's not quite touching, I mean, mine sometimes comes a bit short. It's just the sort of nature of geometry, really. Like, we're not perfect. Yeah, this is going to get adapted. Anyway, this is the foundation for a freehand Rosette. So there'll be lots of chances to adapt this. Pardon? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, some of mine don't quite touch either, so you're not alone. It's okay. Yeah, so you can see a couple of mine don't quite reach. but it's only the beginning. I'm just going to put a bit of disconnect them from my own satisfaction. Yeah. Yeah, well, this is very satisfying. It just keeps coming together. So I'm gonna leave that there for a moment for you guys to finish off.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful piece. It's singing.
Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, it's going to get better. And it really is following on from our lotus exploration when we went to Indonesia, Southeast Asia. So the next radius, the points for the compass are going to stay in the same red dots. The radius is going to be enlarged so that we meet the tips of the petals. So I'm going to leave my compass there for you to make sure you have the same radius. And then we always want our pencil to continue the curve of the petals because we're going to add another round of petals. If it wasn't beautiful enough already, it's just going to go to the next level now. Okay, here we go. So we're going to continue the curve of that line up to the radial line, like that. And then I'll do the same the other side. So I have it there, continuing the curve until it meets the radial line. So then I can shift round to the next one, continue that curve until I hit the radial line.
Didn't touch this surface. Should we make a new release to top of the tree?
Yeah, well, yeah. It depends how far out you are. Try and keep the radius the same, I would imagine, not be shifting it around constantly, because you can repair this line by hand. We will, yeah. We're going to be making tremor lines. It's good to Good point. So there we go. That's the basis. But exactly, we're now going to make a double line for that. I'm going to lighten up. Lighten up. Just going to lighten up some of these lines. Because then the circle is no longer a requirement. The one yeah, that's what I'm doing now, but I'm not raising it totally. I'm just lightening it up a little bit. Great. Yeah, there's a never-ending supply of beautiful patterns out there. All right, so now we're going to draw lines either side of the lines we have now. Okay, so the lines we have now are the center, and we're going to draw a line at the top and the bottom. So I'll give you an example. I would recommend reducing your line by 2 millimeters. What I might do actually, I'm going to take a few moments and I'm going to draw in the original lines. And then you can, maybe that might help. You'll be able to see which ones are originals and which ones are. Maybe this might take too long. Yeah. No, it's fine. And if you like, you could always tidy it up by hand. So just get maybe a 2B pencil, very sharp, and just make, yeah, just help the pattern along lines to join up well. So I'm going to draw in those lines with blue, and then when I draw the trammel lines, hopefully you can differentiate between them. 2 minutes, yeah, two.
My bad.
It's going to be a 2 millimeter reduction and also a 2 millimeter increase. But you want to go around and do all the reduction first. Well, I'm going to draw it myself in a moment. Yeah, so you just return to your original radius for the smaller arcs, and then reduce the radius by 2 millimeters, which I'll demonstrate once I've got this rosette drawn in blue. Because by doing that, hopefully you can see the difference between the trammel lines and the original line when it gets interesting. Okay. So I've gone to my original radius like this, and then I'm going to reduce it by 2 millimeters. So I can draw that secondary line, the top and the bottom, and then I'm scooting around. Make sure that you start at the radial line. So that's all the smaller, out of focus. That's all the smaller lines. And now I can go back to the same red intersections and increase my compass radius so I can do the larger set. I'm not sure I understand the question. Yeah, so first you reduce the compass by 2 millimeters and then you increase it. You probably want to stop at the petal. Oh, actually, maybe you could increase it to the radial line, yeah. Let's see how it goes. Well, no, it's okay. You can stop at the petal, actually. So now I'm going to go around and just increase the larger of the petals. So you don't need to worry about necessarily thinking about the radius, just in fact, you just need to find the end of the previous one. And while I'm in position, I just do both the larger and the smaller. So you can see I do the smaller one and then enlarge it until I meet the end of the bigger one. How many arcs? Well, initially we started with the blue lines, and now we're just drawing the line at either side of the blue line. So we draw the blue line, and now we're doing an increase and a decrease. So we're returning to the same radius. And increasing and decreasing. But when you do the larger arcs at the extremity of the design, all you need to do is position your compass so that it lines up with the end of the previous trauma line.
Which part are you stuck on?
So we drew all of the blue lines first, and now we're going around those blue lines and drawing a line either side, a trauma line. And you can do that by keeping your compass in the original radius, which is always going to be the red dots, and then increasing and decreasing your compass so that you line up when you do the big ones anyway with the ends of those lines. I mean, this is the beauty of doing a curvilinear piece. You know, if this was all square, you'd have to draw tiny little circles on all the intersections and then rule all the lines again. This makes it a much quicker operation. All we're doing is increasing and decreasing the radius.
This is so fun.
Oh, great. I hope that most of you have got this.
I'm getting some confusion sometimes.
Well, I'll explain it. I'll try and find different ways to explain it at the moment. So maybe I'll take away the annotation now. So we have the initial lines, which are the lines that run through the very center of that flower, that rosette. We've got, I think it feels like everyone's got those in. And then you go back to the original points around the small circle where you put your compass point. And then you're going to reduce the radius by 2 millimeters or increase it by 2 millimeters to get the trammel lines either side. You just make sure that you're always in the same original spot. And then we can start to put in the weave.
So the original line of the light is the one in the middle. Yes.
The original line is the one in the middle, and then you're going to place the compass point at the same points of origin, increasing and decreasing your compass slightly to enable you to get the double trammel line. As I say, it's so much quicker this way than if it was we were trying to draw a trammel with straight geometry.
Mm.
I'm putting the weave in and I'll explain it in a moment. I'm sure some of you are still catching up, so I'll just get it done in advance and then explain it and annotate it. The weave's the best bit because as soon as you put the weave in, the piece can suddenly breathe. Well, it's the same operation, so you're going to go back to your original position. So the larger petals, it's here. So this is, you can just go back and find your original radius and then increase. And for the large ones, it's quite easy because you just increase until you meet the end of the previous one. So you're going to increase, you should have like an end to the trammel line and you just join on to that. And I usually will draw the large one and the small one while I'm in this place. So I'll draw, and then just quickly, shift up the compass and do the larger one while I'm there, because there's always a little bit of adapting with the larger petals because they're following on from the original smaller petals.
Mary, do you have a question?
So I'm just erasing the weave and then also some of the construction lines, but I'm aware that you guys are probably catching up, so I'll explain the weave in a few minutes when I'm sure you're all up to scratch. In the meantime, I'm just going to go around and do some erasing. So I'm hoping you're all at this stage now, and I'm going to explain the weave. So we're choosing the first ring, and your overs are going to go in the same direction. So you need to erase these sections. And as you can see, it's going to go in a spiral. So it's always going to be over. And if you can, leave that central line. Always going to be in a spiral. Yeah, it's going to be for the first ring, and then the second ring will be the opposite way. So then the outer ring will be in this direction. I'll just leave it there for a moment. Maybe you could do the first ring. So then the outer weave is going to go in the opposite direction. And after this, we're going to take a break. This will give you time to catch up if you need it. Also welcome to put a bit of shading in if you need to. Well, you can erase them if you like. In the original, they're there in the carving, and they do help to accentuate the weave. But yeah, it's your call. If you'd like to remove them, you can. Okay, so we're gonna take a break for say 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. So yeah, we'll be back at 20 to 5. Yeah. So yeah, that's about a 14-minute break. All right, well, I hope you're enjoying this. There's lots more fun to come, and I'll be on mute for a little bit when I just make a cup of tea. All right, see you in 10 or so minutes. Okay, everyone. So we're going to be working in the following section. So you can get that. I'll get that highlighted for you. Let me just move my screen up just a little bit more. Okay, here we go. We're going to be working in the following section. So above the rosette, we're going to be producing the biomorphic sections just in here, and then it gets repeated around. Kind of following the same process we went through for some of the earlier rosettes. So that's the section we're working on. And we can always erase some of those construction lines inside there too. And also, before we start, a good thing to do would be to draw in another large circle. So what I'm doing, I'm going to increase my compass. Let's see. Yeah, let's go for an 8 millimeter rather, increase. So 8 millimeter increase in radius. So this distance in red is an 8 millimeter increase. And then in fact, what we can do is draw another 2 lines in there. Now, I'm just going to estimate these. Basically, I just wanted that gap in there. I just want to divide it into 3. And I'm also just going to I'm going to do that, yeah. So I divided that into 3. I was going to start shading it, but I think we'll leave that for now. But this is extra decorative feature, so if you're a bit kerfuffled by this, you don't necessarily have to do it. I'm just, in that border, the boundary border, I'm just putting further lines in there as well. 2 more inside, just as a sort of decorative element. But it's not a serious requirement for the design. So I'm lightly sketching in my design. I'll put it in darker in a moment and I'll remove that annotation. I'm just going to get it started. Yeah, well, I haven't drawn anything just yet, but I'll remove it in a second. Yeah, I can remove it now. I'm just sketching in for now. I'm not committing to anything. I want to get it just right for you guys before I draw it in.
Before the magic happens.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's all right. It's all good first. I mean, this one is, the biomorphs are fairly simple compared to the Indo-Malayan pieces we've been doing with the acanthus leaves. And so anyone who is in the last couple of sessions should be very well versed and prepared for this. I just want to get it bang on before I draw it in with the dark line. Okay, you might start to see these lines now. I'm starting to put a bit more pressure on. What we have is sort of like a vesica shape to begin with. And then there's a motif inside that. And the center of that motif is about here. Yeah, you guys can start copying now. Like, yeah, I was just sketching very lightly to begin with, but now I'm happy with the positioning of these shapes. You're welcome to start copying what you can see. I'm going to increase the weight of the pencil line as I go, the more confident I am with it. It's just getting the proportioning, so until we have all the elements there. we can't commit to a dark line. So I'm also putting the weave in as I go. Just want to make sure that we stay within those radial lines, which I'll draw in now. So these are our, so the vertical and that radial line. I'm going to stay inside those. And just get that basic roomy shape. Remember, the roomy motif is this is our roomy motif. Based on yin yang form. And some of those can then get turned into a topelic motif, like we're drawing now over here. So this top part is going to have this very Byzantine style weave, so that the motif is going to weave into the border. Under, over. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I've made a mistake. With the weave should be going the other way. Hopefully you're drawing this in a pencil. You see at the moment, as you see, I'm going over, which actually the original's woven nicely. There is there's a nice version of this pattern which I can show you later, which I think is on the website, a card version, but they don't have the weave in the right way. But we can do it in the right way. Sorry. Okay, hopefully that one makes sense of the weave at the top. I'll just put some shadow in there. Right, great, that's the top bit done. Looks better in the real life. The camera just looks a bit funny. Sort that out. Yeah, you are supposed to be doing this part. Or is that from 10 minutes ago? Oh, yes, there are birds everywhere.
Yeah.
Just going to get these. Well, it's true that there are arguments that the original Rumi shapes come from Yuga Turk cave paintings of birds. And then as the Seljuks moved into Anatolia and adopted Islam, they removed the representational elements, the zoomorphic elements. Okay, so we have the basic shapes, and I've left the Topelic and the Rumi shape like a little bit light because we've got decoration coming in now, and that might require shifting things around slightly. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to check here that I've got all my weave looking all right as well. A bit of shadow in there to highlight where the weave is. And once we've got one section, we'll do the mirror version, and then we'll have everything we need to just repeat around, so the weave won't be as challenging as the centerpiece.
Oh, he's loving this.
Pardon?
Oh, he's smiling.
Oh yeah, Ari, it's a good point actually. I should have mentioned that to you before, that many of these forms did originate with zoomorphic forms. There's some great Seljuk early carvings of birds and sea monsters, and all the wings and the beaks then become these shapes. You can see that's a good point. Good possibility. Okay, let's get in the decoration now. This is when these forms really become Mamluk, when we start to put in the volute shapes. And I might even need to make my Rumi form slightly larger. to fit them. So just keep it light until yes, I think I'm going to have to make a little bit more space to fit that nice volute form. So I've got my center of the spiral there, and I just want to make sure that the spiral that wraps around it has enough space. It's always worth taking the time, because we're going to be repeating this multiple times. Just to get every little detail flowing. So is it snowing out in LA now?
Yeah. Not down in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Susie said no.
We had 1 inch of snow and everyone went crazy here, like building snowmen and
JTMS said no, it's raining.
Bridget's probably laughing. She's snowed in with 20 feet of snow.
But it's quite rare in the UK to have that, especially in London.
Yeah. Yesterday it was sunny. I was sitting on the beach. All right. More happy with this form now. And we're going to repeat the same inside this one here too.
Oh, so 62 Fahrenheit and sunny in France.
What would I do without a zero razor? I'm not sure. Life would be worth living without a zero razor. So, let's get the other one in. These are the tricky parts, so get those out of the way. Then we're home and dry. It's getting that really nicely proportioned volute form. I'm not sure how you guys are getting on, but It's very delicate spiral. It's probably the first thing to do is just draw a smaller roomy form inside. Subdivide the shape. And then from that smaller roomy form you can curl in.
Do you think they have erasers in the past when they did this looking?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I've never really thought about medieval erasers. I know that obviously in Europe, everything was produced on vellum around that time. Excuse me. So you could just scratch anything you drew off the vellum.
Maybe they didn't make any mistakes.
Exactly, yeah, of course. Because in the past they were superhuman, different breed.
So you said they used bread.
Bread? I think you're putting on a leg.
Yeah. Morrison said we should do it the medieval way.
On vellum?
Yeah, and
or without
bread.
With bread and no
Bread.
mistakes.
Dry bread. It's more specific.
Okay.
So what part of the collector's work to erase pencil?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Balut is the cloud forms.
Oh.
Balut. And they're said to be more of the breath of animals than clouds. Or the essence. Oh, I'm just not happy with that spiral. Gonna make it a bit larger. It's okay, it's just not quite to my liking. From where? Oh, of course, yeah, just using the bread to wipe it. All right. So then there's just some decorative features in the top part, the Taj part of that tapadic form. And then we're kind of getting there now, we're getting there. Yeah, I can commit to these lines now. No, one's a little bit smaller. The inner one's a bit smaller because it's part of the tapadic motif. It's not in isolation like the top one.
I have line commitment issues.
Cold feet. Just have to jump in, delve in, make some mistakes.
Yeah.
And you can always just get out, use your loaf.
Mm-hmm.
In case you didn't get that, loaf is Cockney for brains in the UK.
Oh.
It's a double pun. Okay, I'm just gonna have these little crescent moon decorations, but I'm going to put these structural lines on here so I know where to terminate them. Yeah, this could look lovely as a painted fabric.
What is the pencil you're drawing with?
Oh, I'm just drawing with the 2B just to soften the lines. The problem with those fine clicking pencils, automatic pencils, is sometimes they kind of score the paper, and then you end up in a rut, and you end up drawing the same line over and over. So just using a very soft 2B, which isn't going to go into those ruts and give me a bit more graphite on the paper now that I know where I'm going. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much all the elements we need. We're going to trace those out in a moment. And we can put some shading on too, but before we do too much shading, I'm going to trace it. Okay, in the petal, we have another motif. So I'm going to put that in now. Obviously, we only need half of that. This is a very easy topelic motif. This won't be a challenge for you. All right, so you can now do the tracing. What's that? Everything good? Good, it's all good. Yeah, so I'm just going to trace this unit out. Firstly, I want to put in the vertical line, the line of symmetry. I'm going to fold it on that line to get the repeat. So I'll do that with the ruler. Goodness me, I'm glad I didn't do this. I had another pattern I was going to do before this sort of variation, and I got talked out of it by Ling, which is very wise because we would never finish this. So nice soft pencil at this stage. Ooh, what am I doing?
Why don't we fold to trace the
pattern? Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to trace it first, and then we're going to fold the tracing paper, and then copy the, trace through the folding. But we do need 2 units because on the reflection, the weave is going to be in the opposite direction. So we're going to trace it over, but then we do need to do a little bit of work. It's flipping the 2 weaves, the ones at the top and then this one down here, before we print it on the other parts of our design.
Can I do the double pattern on tracing paper? Can I complete by folding?
Yeah, you could do. Yeah, the only issue with that is the weave, so you'd have to go back around and adapt the weave, which we'll come to in a moment. So I quite like this method where you just do one of the units, one of the 8 units with reflection, and kind of tackle all the elements of the weave and then print it. Yeah, we're tracing the pattern, yeah. At this stage. All right, so I have that tracing. It's pretty much all I need. Maybe a little bit more of this. And then I've got the vertical line. I'm going to also put in this line here. This will help. Maybe it's a dotted line. Then we're going to fold. Oh, great. Yeah, exactly. So I've got that unit. Now I'm going to fold it along the vertical line. Actually, before I fold it, I'm going to draw in this line too. Something else to line up with. Maybe put a dot here, a dot here. Now I'm going to fold it. Those dots line up. Now, often what I do is just put that back in here and trace it so that I make an impression while I'm tracing. And I could do that. The only problem with that is that the weave's the other way around. So maybe when I come to tracing the weave, I'll move it. Yeah, maybe I'll leave it there just for the motifs. Okay, so I've got that traced in. Now I'm going to open it up. And the only bit I've really got to do here, I've got to sort out this weave so it goes under over. So I've got to correct this on my tracing. And then the top is actually already done. I did the whole thing in the top before, so it's only that bottom part. Also, what else? Let's have a look. Yes, so there is the point where it joins on to the geometry, and that being over, as it's just gone under. Oh. Oh no, of course. Just realized one oversight, which we can rectify now. Okay, so the thing about this is that the weave is going to be opposite when we flip it over to trace it. So we're going to have to flip the weave on the original, or just draw the whole thing upside down. But I think for me, it's going to be easier if I just flip the weave back to front. So the weave's got to be opposite to the way it is on the original. Otherwise, when we trace it, we're going to get some going one way and some going the other way. So either you could trace the design on the back again, or if you don't want to spend time redrawing the whole thing, just need to swap the two woven parts. So that it's upside down. And when you come to do the weave, it will transfer accordingly. It's always good to get these things sorted out on this. Yeah, the top's got to get changed as well. There's a bit of work, but it's worth it. I mean, if you want, it's just flip it over and trace it from the original. So I just put it back on here, trace it on the back, so you've got something to copy. It's a lot of flipping backwards and forwards. Okay, so then upside down, that should line up the same way. Great. And now we can go about printing it in the other sections, but before I print it, I might erase some of the construction geometry lines. It's a bigger rubber.
No, just the putty eraser.
Pardon?
The putty eraser.
The putty eraser. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there's Americans in the house. Lining up. Looking good. And then just around. Yep. Limited edition prints. So you're going to get a light print and then work back in. So if you haven't done this process before, I'm using my fingernails, pushing very hard, but you could alternatively use a smooth rock. You could use a teaspoon. Teaspoon's a winner. Yeah, teaspoon method. Could be a tablespoon. So that's lightly printed. I'm going to go around and redraw it. Remember, it's always good to have a piece of paper underneath your hand to make sure that you don't smudge the light pressing of the graphite. So it's a chance to put in the weave, and then what emerges in this particular version of the pattern is this beautiful shape. This shape here. Very beautiful, like a Mughal Taj crown. And yeah, this is the time now that the pattern starts to sing. to concentrate on just getting that central weave. See it clearly. Okay, hopefully you can start to see these forms emerging. So beautiful. I'll draw a couple more.
Thanks so much, Shannon.
Yeah, if for some reason you need to go early, you pretty much have everything you need. I'm going to continue sketching this in, and I'm going to put some shading in, and then in about 10 or 15 minutes, it'd be great to see what you guys have been up to. And we can have a bit of sharing.
Thanks, Shannon.
Okay, so we do have to make, the nice thing about the top weave is always going to be the same. So if you're confused about that, I'm going to put that in too. just getting this, a bunch of the central weave connecting the geometry to the biomorphs. If that seamless tile shape, so beautiful. So the recording will be in the Dropbox, but there's also some images in there too, including a little handout I made showcasing some of the key Mamluk motifs. But there's also images of the original. So the original's in marble and it has a slightly different center. So a little study I made somewhere. Here we go. I'm just going to cover this drawing up for a second, but the original is more of a square-based system like this. And so I've kind of taken the liberty of adapting the design into this form, which makes it much more compatible for a class, but also resolves in a nicer way because the original just resolves in this very odd manner where the geometry doesn't necessarily connect to the biomorphs. It just sort of disappears alongside it under here. So we have these, the internal geometry is fine and the biomorphs are fine, but they don't connect in the same way. You can see here the form kind of weaves and then just disappears. Whereas if you were to just shift it up or work in the curvilinear form that I have done, you can connect these and make it one cohesive piece. So the original's in there if you need to take a look.
Asking where can we send our versions?
Where can we
Send their versions and the pattern?
Oh, if you finish the design, it'd be great. Yeah, if you want to send it into the Gmail, or if you tag us on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, that's always a good. It's usually the way I end up seeing what people have done. But
your version's beautiful.
oh, thank you.
Way more beautiful.
Well, I mean, it's hard to carve in stone. There's a real achievement what they've done, but it does bring up the argument, and we could have this conversation, if you like, in a minute. But just because something's done in the past, it doesn't necessarily mean it's right or wrong or better or worse. So I've had these conversations before with other sort of perennial traditionalists, and there's this sort of understanding that something's done, the older it is, the more authentic it is. And like, I guess as a general rule, people were maybe a bit more in touch with nature. There was they had less interference from technology, so they were using more basic tools, so that there are like a lot of fantastic designs, and they had more time. But there were also lots of terrible things that happened in the past too, so that they're not exonerated, and lots of battles and terrible atrocities. So yeah, I think there's still an element of good and bad design. I know that, for example, they would try and rectify this, like in cathedrals. The higher up the cathedral you go, the worse the the masonry work is, because they'd put all the journeymen or the apprentices, all of their masonry work, their sort of practice pieces would be up in the gods, so everything's a little bit wonky. And as you got more proficient, you'd work lower down. closer to eye level. But yeah, certainly an interesting debate.
John said the center seems to be carved deeper. Maybe they had to fix a mistake and carve deep to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, it is possible. And of those motifs, there are there's like a couple of Shamsa designs next to it. And like some of them are carved and some of them are just left uncarved. It was almost like they just down tools at some point and no one's ever bothered to finish the carvings off. So I don't know if that has, and that they're right next to these panels. I don't know if it's the same mason, whether he got fired or who knows, but he got grumpy and took off. Yeah. But I always wondered about those unfinished pieces. I thought, oh, in all the sort of 700 years since, or however long it's, no one's bothered to finish off the carving. I think that wouldn't happen in Morocco. They can't, because in Morocco you have it's mostly in plaster, and the plaster only lasts about 50 years or so. So they have to constantly be recarving. If you go now at the Ben Yusuf Madrasa in Marrakesh, it's it's completely renovated. They don't just, like in Europe, carefully take out little tiles here and there. They just strip all of the walls and just redo all the zilij. Same patterns, but completely new. And I think that's great because it's just keeping these craftsmen in keeping their hand in, keeping the crafts alive. And they're using the same techniques. So.
Maybe he has to be in the fire.
Yeah, maybe, exactly. Yeah, we'd have to do some investigating next time. Take my magnifying glass. And...
Susan asking, is the Ben Yusuf open?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, who knows what's happening anywhere. A friend of mine did just move back to Marrakesh, and I could ask her. I did ask if we were allowed to go in, and I think the borders are still shut for non-residents.
How many are the renovations are?
Pardon?
I was Susan asking, not if it's open, but the renovations are done.
Well, the last time I was there, it looked sort of half done, and whenever I go, I always snoop around outside in case there's all bags of rubble, and I thought I wanted to see if there's any loose bits of zilij I could take back and sell to the V&A.
Colin says, did you carve that first piece in the Dropbox?
Oh no, that wasn't me, no. And that was the inspiration for this curvilinear work. So on that one, it's still like, they still don't join the geometry and the, I think that was actually made in Indonesia. I did try and trace it down to find the original artist, but I couldn't. I traced it as far as Indonesia. But I think that one's certainly a good reference for painting and rendering. It's got all the shadow and it will make it easier to follow. Oh, it's great, right? That center motif, and it's all connected. Something about it really just breathes.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so we'll do like maybe another 5 minutes. I might just finish off this corner, and then I'd love to see what you're up to. Oh, it's nice to hear that you're out there, Camille. I'm sure you'd paint a beautiful version of this. It could be, I wonder if it would be a good backdrop to one of your portraits.
So nice to be back.
today's really flown by. Today's. I think it's just generally. I don't know if it's the same in other countries or whether it's just GMT, but days just fly by in this current situation that we're in. In some ways, everything's slowed down, but I feel like days and weeks and merging. So now we've got those.
What classes are coming up, Madam?
I'm working on that. So I've been doing a lot of research into the tree of life, and I have a few patterns looking at the tree of life from Southeast Asia, like the Gunungang, which is used in wine kullit and on minbars and doorways. And also I've got a lot of work from from China when I was working in China, studies from the Forbidden City. So there's a few things in the pipeline, but I haven't put anything up online yet. And then I really wanted to get a group of people together, some of the fine artists who've been rendering the pattern so beautifully. So I was thinking, I was talking to Chris, I've forgotten his second name now, and Inez and a few others about having like a sort of symposium Shahina as well. So that would be a great little one to tune into. Maybe each person could have a half an hour shift, and we can all just share some ideas on rendering the pattern. So basically taking it from this stage to the next stage and be like a skill sharing. I think we might all benefit from that. So yeah, there's a few things in the pipeline, and I'm working a lot on the book too.
Oh, I can do something at the middle.
Oh, that's up to you. I think on that carving they have a little star, but on the original there's nothing there. So that's over to you guys. This is definitely a portal. I feel like the more lines that go in, the more it creates this vorticey form. So this is over and yes, this is all right. Okay, well, I really hope that this has been enjoyable for you and you get a sense now of how that weave's going to work in the middle. I think it's a good opportunity to have a little catch up, because I think you guys are fine from here on. So if you'd like to take a screenshot of where I'm at now, because I could spend another hour drawing this. I will probably finish drawing it after the class and then put a picture up somewhere, maybe in the Dropbox. Yeah, so feel free to take a picture in case you need it before the recording goes in the Dropbox. And 3, 2, 1. Yeah, thanks so much, everyone. And if you want to stick around, share your work and have a little chat, we're here for you now. There may well be another class next week, but there might be a weekend off. We'll see. We'll see. I was on Zoom all week teaching for the Princess School of Traditional Arts, actually for about 8 days straight, and I can't even imagine going on after that. So yeah, I have lots of patterns. It depends if I can find something worthy of your time. Okay, let's. Hey everyone.
Hello.
Adam.
Hey, hello. Lots of familiar faces. Who's that?
Hello, Adam.
Hey, Susan. How are you?
I just wanted to show you my knockers.
Oh, Susan, please.
Well, one of them. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh, look at that. Wow. That's great. Wow. Did you get that when you were in Cairo?
I did. Here, maybe that's a better shot.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yes, lovely, lovely. Yeah, it's actually the same. It's the same pattern. It's the same rosette in the center.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
good one.
Yeah, somehow it doesn't work with the decor of my California house. Also, I don't think I have a door that will hold it up.
It was big enough.
Requires a real substantial door.
You put it on the bathroom door for those really annoying people.
There we go. There we go. Not before going in. Thank you, Adam. This was great fun.
Someone who's hogging the shower. Yeah, yeah. It was a really nice pattern, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Can I see?
Anyway,
I want to see. I want to see what you've been up to. Can I take a look?
oh, well, you really don't want to see what I've been up to. I've got to go back and
Oh, baby.
yeah, let's just say there's a little bit of work that needs to be done on that. So there you go.
Great. Good work. Nice.
Not so nice, but it'll get better. Thank you.
Good to see you, Susan. Take care. Enjoy the sun.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Adam. This is Summer from Essex.
Hey, Summer.
First time ever I've done anything like this. So
Oh,
I'll just
really?
show you.
Oh, this is your first time. Look at that.
The first time ever. I'm a finance person.
Okay, okay, super.
Thank you very much. Really enjoyed it.
Could you hold it there for 1 second? Just hold it up to the screen. Okay, because there's something I just want to show you.
Do you want me to keep holding it?
No, it's okay. Can you see there's a couple of places where you could you see here the weaves going over. Can you see on the screen?
Yeah.
Let's go over here too. So at the moment we've got over, and the same here. So that's going over that one. So that means this one should go over.
Okay.
Is that,
It's alternate.
Pardon?
So it's alternate. So one goes down, one goes up.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I hope that helps.
Okay, yeah.
Oh well, well done anyway. That's a fantastic.
Thank you. Once I've finished it, I'll tag you.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
We'll share it to the world. Share the love. All right. You take care. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Adam.
Hey, Nisha.
Neeta here. Okay, so this is the first time in 8 months that I managed to do something in a biomorphic class and not just watch you draw.
Okay.
And I was scared to make it worse, so I just stopped here.
Oh, lovely. No, that's great. You're on a roll.
Yay. Yeah, finally, after 8 or 9 months, it's happened. Thank you so much.
That's quick.
This is a very lovely class.
Yeah.
And I think the use of compass helped a lot.
Right.
When it's freehand, I just sit and watch you. That's what I attend the classes for, watching how you draw and listening to you talk. It's almost like a podcast for me.
Oh, really?
Because I just cannot keep up in the class, and my curves just don't curve enough, I guess. I need to practice my curves.
You've got it now. This is a good opportunity if you trace around the other 8 sections to practice. Yeah. Tracing is a good Tracing is a good practice.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. Take care. Nice to see you. Congratulations on the work.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna pick someone. How about you, John? I always pick on you.
Thank you. That's really, really wonderful. I did this part, and then this part. And then I'm now redrawing it on some watercolor paper so I can have fun with it. It usually takes me a couple weeks to catch up with these.
I don't always
really gorgeous pattern.
I don't always do your work though, so do send it in. I haven't seen many of your renderings recently.
Yeah. Oh, they're still, you know, I can't keep up with the incredible polish that some people are taking it to, but yeah, I'll try to finish up some of these and get them in there, because it you know, your download is moving so fast and I can barely keep up with how much material you're giving us. And yeah, I'm still working on the first Indonesian one, or the first Malaysian one. Yeah. But yeah, thank you. And when you were showing the window grills, I guess they are, the cut stone around the windows in Cairo. I just remember Keith talking about how what they did is they would bless the air coming into the house. You know, that the air would kind of flow in through these beautiful patterns, and you would breathe the blessing.
Yeah, thanks for that. And also, I love your paintings. They're so gestural, you know, because you have that, all your street paintings, you know, it really weaves into it's very unique style. I like it. Yeah. So yeah, do share it. Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful learning this process, because I sort of tried to figure out biomorphics, but I didn't realize that there's this whole sort of delayed gratification of setting up the structure and all that, and you know, all these steps that you're giving us. It really, it's affecting. I think much. It's way improved my own draftsmanship and just the way I. You know, even just using the erasers as much as I use. I've never used an eraser before these classes started, and now I really, they're just as important as the pencil. You know, to be willing to to do something and then erase it and then redraw it and improve it. It's you know, if you're working from a very spontaneous place, you seem to you have a tendency to repeat yourself. So this way you develop your line more, you can become more thoughtful, and you know, it's so anyways, thank you for this. Yes. Extraordinary. I mean, I'm way behind in catching up with, you know, I've drawn the ones that you do in the class, and then trying to develop them into paintings just takes a really, I'm a little bit behind, but
I don't know how I'll manage to paint them all too. I mean, it just takes me a week just to get the drawing ready.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you for pulling yourself away from 8 days of teaching at the Princess School to give us this download.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I was trying to teach gilding, different gilding techniques, and it was a real challenge over the computer. I mean, I would say a year ago, I'd say it would be impossible, but
yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah. Well, you managed to give us the experience of carving through Zoom, which I'm really surprised that how well that translated.
Yeah. Oh, well, nice to see you, John. And yeah.
Yes. Thanks again.
Thanks for all the interesting insights. How's it going where you are, Bridget? Are you snowed in?
Sorry about that. I told the snow not to snow until I was completely better so I can go snowshoeing. So apparently it doesn't think I'm all better because we haven't gotten a lot of snow.
Oh, no. How do you feel? Are you chesty or?
I feel great if I'm sitting down. It's just if I walk, I feel like I've been working for hours. But I love this class. I really liked it. So let's see. I did this little piece here. I don't know if you can see it very well, but
you're already painting well. Is that
Yeah, I gilded it.
you did it too? Jeez.
So that's that one.
Well, you have COVID.
I need more work on that one.
Wow, crazy.
And then I wanted to just show you something from Katya's class because remember at sorry, the lighting is bad, too much sunshine. So Katya showed us this design.
Oh, lovely.
There's like better. But I was asking, how do you like draw the reverse? So our dear Marzia, she figured it out and gave me the coordinates so I could draw these.
Oh, that's psychedelic. That's great. Look at those.
It was a lot of fun. So yeah, kudos to her for figuring out the math and reverse engineering it. I loved Katya's class too. It was great. So thank you so much for bringing her in as well.
Of course, yeah. No, it was nice. It seemed like a worthy addition to sort of like a structure for all that we're doing, historic structure.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were feeling better.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, don't strain yourself. Don't stress your body.
I won't. I'm being lazy.
Yeah, you got a worthy excuse to hang out at home.
Yeah. Able to put wood in the fire. That's all that matters.
That's right. Yeah. That's what Tom Waits said, something like that, doesn't he? Don't complain when you got wood in the store. Something like that. Or what was the other one? Come down off the cross. We could use the wood. Oh, great. Nice one, Bridget. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Anyone else ready to share what they've been up to? I want to see some drawings.
Hi, Adam. This is Fab.
Hey, Fab.
How's it going?
Good. Yeah,
Okay.
great.
Can you see?
Oh, lovely.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, I can't see the center so well, but I can see the outside. Looks great. All the motifs.
Is that better?
This would be another nice. Oh, you know what though? I think you've got like you might need to hold on 1 second.
You're gonna take a picture to tell me where I messed up.
You're not quite messed up, but yeah, let's have a look. Is this the one? Yeah, so what might make it a bit simpler is if you these bits that come down here, they don't connect, they're just separate.
Oh, okay.
So like that.
And I'm connecting them. Okay.
Yeah, you're connecting, and then you got 3 lines coming together, so these should just be like separate.
Okay.
How's it going? I'm trying to figure out myself now. like that. It'll be easy for you to do, but you get that?
Okay, I'll look into that. Yeah, because I was trying to maybe it's easier to do it on the
Just give me a gap.
yeah. Maybe it may be easier to fix it on here. On the
Oh yeah, exactly. Shall I take it? Do you want me to show you on that one?
yes, please, since you are.
Right. Oh, where did it go?
Ah, you lost it. You want me to put it again?
I might have it on the. Yes.
This was a great class.
Show me again.
Okay. Is that better? Okay.
I think I got it now. All right, so
I need to put a space between a gap between the weaving on the bottom and the weaving on the top.
so that should just go like that.
Mhm.
And these are sort of separate.
Okay. Okay.
And then
Yeah, I see where I messed up now.
yeah, there's
It
just
was a great class.
a gap.
Go ahead.
A bit of a gap where I put the orange.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, and I when I was doing the center, and I think I was not the only one, my petals did not meet the circle on the outside.
Oh,
So
yeah.
then what I did is when we started continuing the petals, I was like, okay, ignore the circle. And I just went from the
Yeah.
petals that I already had, and that worked well.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
I think this one is gonna look great on a card plate, like the Mamluk medallion that I made.
Yeah. This should look really good painted too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Adam. See you. So you're saying we're taking off the next weekend, so see you in 2 weekends?
Maybe I'll see if I've got the
My request is still the pinstripe, I think you called it. What you did with the teenagers on a single shot.
problem with that is that everyone's gonna have to, somehow buy the brushes, So I might schedule it for like maybe off in March or somewhere in the distance, so people have enough time to get the brushes because they're so specialist. I think
Yeah.
in England and America you can get them, but I mean things are a bit, intense because I was doing it with the Princess School last week, and the shops, like all the brushes are in low stock, and I'm not sure if things are getting any, things are running out in the art shops.
Yeah. Well, that would be a cool class.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I sent you the brushes that I have on my wish list, and every time I go buy something on Amazon, I put them in the cart and then I put them out, and I put them back in the cart and I put them out.
Yeah. Brushes on Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they come from like Coach. A lot of the original Coach lining was, they would have a person at the end of the forward production line who would outline the doors, and that was their job, and they'd just draw perfectly long lines, often a meter long, with just straight, perfect line with those brushes. They wouldn't have to reload it. I'm always trying to get people introduced to them because they've got such potential. You can, especially if you wanted to do something like this, but at a larger scale, all the fluid lines you could do in one stroke, not in bitty strokes.
So in pottery, the Japanese do that with oxides. They load the brush with an oxide, and then they do the entire decoration of the plate with iron oxide. It's a bamboo brush. The body of the brush is bamboo, and then it is very hairy and long, and it ends up in a very thin point. And they load it with iron oxide or black oxide, any oxides, and then when you cover it with the clear glaze, it gives you that brush mark. So yeah, I've always wanted to learn how to do that.
They did have these awesome brushes in Iran, and they look like a stippling brush. Do you know, and then in the middle they just have like long hairs. So it's almost like they had a long stippling brush and just they have a little one in the middle, and then so it like you can load it up and then just do these continuous lines.
Awesome. Well, we do that. If you could, like you did for the carving class, where you suggest some like a brand or something, but then highlight what are the things that you are choosing that for. Yeah. So we don't find exactly the one that you say. We can look for something else, knowing what characteristics we're looking for.
Yeah. It's fun. Scroll work it's next level. Okay. Yeah. I'll keep it in mind.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fab.
Bye.
Hi, Adam.
Hey, Arish. How are you? I love it.
How are you? I'm fine, thank you.
Like your last painting.
Sorry?
I like your last painting, the black and white one.
The gold one. This one?
Yeah, incredible, right? Lovely.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I have one question, Adam.
Yes.
You see, when we make all the round, we put in the center the rolling pin or the compass, it makes always hole. I tried to cover it with tape or tissue, but it's not working very well. It's always leave a mark.
I see. Yeah, there are things you can use. Sometimes you can use putty rubber, or you can also like they have these little plastic dishes that I've seen that come in some compass sets, like a little plastic ring, and then you put that down first, and then the point of the compass.
What does it called? Do you know the name of it?
Oh, I'm not sure what it's called. But I guess you just need a clear bit of plastic that you can place over the top.
I'll try. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not. Oh, how did you get on today?
Okay, no problem. Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Thank
great.
you very much.
Yeah, that looks perfect.
No more black. My eyes is hurting me.
Okay.
I will take a break, maybe beige, and we will see what will happen.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I think everyone needs a bit of a break to catch up with the paintings.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Anyone else like to share what they've been up to?
Yeah.
Hey Adam, one more thing. Sorry for the day where you would have other people show up, like little tutorials. Could you have Paul Barchilon do something on the tile work that he does?
Okay.
Or have a ceramic person? That would be good.
Sure.
I know you don't have that many potters, but you have some ceramic people involved. So
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. It's still sort of like in like production. But
yeah.
cool.
Anyway, but I wanted to make sure that you had one of those ceramic or tile or mosaic people in mind. Thank you.
So we could have like a ceramic breakout chat room. All right. Hey Tom, was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
How do you get on today?
That's fine. Some friends got me some hot press watercolor paper, so I was eager to use it, and I was just going into it.
Oh, you're painting already. Oh, gorgeous. You'd started painting before you finished drawing.
Exactly. Because I don't like tracing paper that much, so I'll just have to redraw the entire thing.
You're gonna draw it from the start.
But no, I like this a lot. It was fun.
Oh, you know what? I saw your Ursula Le Guin posts, and funny enough, Ling just got an interesting book. That was kind of, it's called.
What is that?
The Tao of Islam.
Yeah. Did she do that? Or
No, she did it. It just made me. When you were posting all, because that is my favorite. Like the Ursula Le Guin that translation's my favorite of the Dao Ching.
Yeah, no, I grew up on her books, and like she passed away on my 30th birthday. So
on your birthday, connected forever.
So yeah, that's been fun. But yeah, I really like this, and I've been using some cold press watercolor paper for a while, and so I was really curious about the hot press, and it's completely different.
How so? How do you find it?
Oh, just the way that it holds. I mean, it's so shiny. It's almost like calligraphy paper.
Yeah.
But because it doesn't have the same texture that the cold press does, which it's got all the little divots, but the lines are much more precise and crisp, and you almost like afraid things gonna slide off of it. But it's so smooth. I like it. I like both. They're very different, and the light reflects off of it more because it's shiny. So, I don't know. I'm enjoying it.
Nice. Oh, nice one, Tom. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Send us a picture when you finish that one. Are you still able to drive around? And you must be snowed in where you are.
No, I mean, we've had some just steady small amounts of snow. It's more the ice is a little rough. We're I don't know what it is in Celsius, but we're around 15 degrees Fahrenheit. So
okay.
Yeah, being safe, staying warm.
Good mantra. All right, great. Good to see you, Tom. Oh, someone's sharing. Who's that? Zainab? Oh, let's have a look. Hey, Zainab. Wow, great.
Hey, Adam. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
This is my second lesson with you.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I tried to copy by folding.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
If it is okay. Because this is the way I get used to because of TESIP.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's working for you, so that's great. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. I guess the only thing.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, but that's this really nicely spaced, nice line work. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care. See you next time.
See you.
All right.
Hey Adam, this is Ari. I want to say hi.
Hey Ari, how's it going?
Going well. Let's quickly show you what I'm up to right now.
Oh, it's so miniature. Wow.
I think about like 10 centimeters.
Wow.
Diameter.
You make it hard for yourself, don't you?
I don't know why. I just have a fixation of, I don't know, the idea of the book arts, I guess. I'm just, yeah, kind of stubbornly staying small.
Yeah.
But quite enjoying it. I'm just like in a flow, tracing over these curves right now. So
yeah.
A lot of gratitude for you for the opportunity to learn from you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for joining, you know, and I love all this, the way you render them and complete them. But there's something nice about moving from the curve of the compass to the freehand, you know, and trying to make it seamless. It's a good challenge. But those particular shape you start to see emerging, you know, the Taj shape. It's a little bit like they call it the Gunungang, because I've been looking into it in the Wayang Kulit shadow puppetry. It's a form in Southeast Asia, the tree of life. So I'm seeing a lot of these connections, but it's that form, like a teardrop form. I don't know if it started to emerge when you were drawing yet, but.
I'm really looking forward to that tree of life class that you're going to be having. Yeah, and the idea of a symposium with other artists is, yeah, I'm going to be eagerly awaiting that. I was kind of agreeing with John talking about how fast all these other artists are and how talented they are. So I'd love to get some insight into how they work.
Yeah, and yourself. I mean, it would just be nice to have it as more of like a sharing for everyone. It feels like the next thing that like we would benefit from as a community in a way, like just to.
Yeah, of course. I've learned a lot from you, but also just seeing all the creative things that people are doing with the patterns, like you were saying, the way that you put it out into the world and people just go wild with it is, yeah, it's really amazing.
I always wonder, like, if, you know, there's some of these original artists are just looking down from wherever they are, and, you know, there must be some crowd, like hundreds of people read you know,
nice
years later, redrawing them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Howdy. All right. Well, thanks again. Always good to see you.
I can see you too, buddy.
Howdy, if you like really minimalist stuff, you can get a 0.2 millimeter pencil. If you like mechanical.
There's 0.2.
There is 0.2. It's less common, and you have to have a very light touch to use it. But I used to do a lot of like fine detail stuff. And
I'm so glad to learn about that. All around me, I have 0.3 pencils, but yeah, I'll be doing some shopping after this class now. Thank you.
It'll break in an instant. They like, I have this pen here, and they discontinued that, and you can only find this one if like you pay a ridiculous amount. It's ridiculous. But they started making new ones now, which are like normal priced. So like it came back. It disappeared for a couple of years, and now it's back, and you can like get some lead for it. You can only get H, B, and 2B, and it'll break. You can only do like a tiny bit at a time because it'll just snap like that. But
yeah, even more than 0.3. Okay, I'm going to be looking out for that. Thank you.
Sure.
we're
Hey,
nerding
hey,
out.
Adam, have you seen the show that's over at the it's only online right now, but the Camden Arts Center has a thing called the Tree of Life and the I mean it's called the Botanical Mind and the Tree of Life.
Oh no.
And it's beautifully illustrated. And here I just put a link to it, and it's got all sorts of different artists on podcasts talking about the plant, the power of the plant to heal, to inspire, the whole history, political history of plants, and but it's sort of just expands the whole imagination around the Tree of Life into all sorts of different directions, and they've got a great website where you can get a look at a lot of the art that's up there right now.
Yeah. Wow, John, that's a great link. That's my evening sorted.
Yeah.
What are you doing? How you must do you have like a research team or something? You always seem to have all these great links.
Yeah, well, that I'm not sure how I'm not sure how that one popped up, but I think I was I've been thinking a lot about the Tree of Life myself. There's lots of mystic traditions that use it, and of course Kabbalah and Sumerian art, and you just follow the strands. It goes all over the place. Of course, the Tree of Paradise, and I'm reading Emma Clark's book on the Islamic gardens and the idea of paradise. And so it's a lovely theme. Even children's stories like Jack and the Beanstalk is probably a sort of metaphor for what's this magic bean that turns into a giant plant and you climb it in your whole nother world. What's the meaning of that story?
Yeah.
So yeah. So no, it's a favorite. I when I saw that image that you posted a month ago or so, I was very, very intrigued. So
yeah.
Keep following that thread.
I will. It's just the more research I was doing, it's such a huge subject that I keep having to put it back because there's so much to cover. And it's like how to even start. It's like so many branches.
Yeah, and also just because the only really safe place for me to walk if I want to avoid the crowds and everything is the cemetery that I live next to, and it's slowly being turned into an arboretum.
Yeah.
So it's 500 acres, a huge space, and over the years are gradually planting these incredible trees. So, they just, I guess, we're all in a slightly altered perception right now with the way things are. So I go in there and I see these trees, and I can't believe the beauty and the power and being around them for all those magnolias that we were drawing way back in. From Granada, the pattern we drew from that back in, I think, April or so. Well, those trees are here in Brooklyn too. And they developed these gorgeous seed pods, and now the flowers are I can see them getting ready to start blooming soon. So it's a wonderful theme.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the benefits, right? We're all kind of getting to see all these things that we wouldn't see, like all the details in life.
Yeah. Oh, just one little memory of Keith. It popped up when Richard has having a class on the journal using Islamic, his journal that he published. And one day I was sitting next to Keith at breakfast, and he had a pile of scraps of paper that he was drawing on, all these geometric patterns. And I asked him what he was doing, and he said, "Oh, I saw these in my dreams last night, and I'm just trying to draw them before I forget what I saw." So, he was really living this whatever you want to call this thing, he lived those patterns all day long and all night in his dreams.
Yeah, it's so true. And like he was very different from the other tutors that we had at the time, who were a bit more meticulous and like for his slideshows, he just used to put his hand in a box of slides and pick out a hand. That was his slideshow. It was all totally inspired. And he just
Yeah.
began to put them in and then see how it goes. As long as it started with a sunrise, like.
Yeah. My apologies to everybody else on this to be talking about Keith, but if you ever get a chance to see that video, Chartres Cathedral, Sacred Geometry, you'd get a sort of a slight hint of what he was like. At one point, he's standing in front of the facade of this Gothic cathedral and pointing out where all the chakras are, you know, and connecting it to the whole Vedic tradition. And you know, the people who were studying with him, we would after, you know, in the evening, we just kind of sit in a circle and said, oh, what you learned from Keith today? And every single person heard something different, all as if he did, you know, 20 or 30 different lectures simultaneously, and each person heard it a completely different way. So he was an extraordinary teacher, and it's hard to it's hard to translate what he did into print, into words.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It was quite really an oral tradition. It would have been great if there was some Zoom classes then to capture, like, you know, like his studio is just piles of paper and rolls of stacks of this, like really disordered, and like I'm sure there's so much.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Yeah.
I remember when you walked into the classroom in New York last year and unrolled this pile of these unbelievable drawings, and I mean, you must have had hundreds of drawings there, that large sheets of paper with these intricate patterns and things, and
oh yeah,
you know,
the days, yeah, just traveling with a pencil case and a roll.
Mind blowing.
Oh, thanks. That's really nice. Yeah. Oh well, hopefully those days will return. Can draw in person.
Well, we're in the middle of the great introversion, and this whole introverted time we're having is probably going to be very important for what comes next.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we said this last time that it is sort of very productive time for the body, mind, spirit, and you know, we're all going to emerge different people. Like, there's no doubt about that. We might not even want to travel anymore. We might just be so enlightened.
Yeah. I'm sorry to keep going on, but I saw, you know, last fall, because people couldn't have yoga classes indoors, I'd be walking through the park at night, and there'd be this circle of candles and a bunch of people doing yoga in the dark. And, you know, I had never seen anything like that before. And, you know, and you see people having dance classes in the woods, in the park, you know, and it, people are resourceful.
Yeah, we got that here too. We got that sort of thing. That's great.
Yeah.
Ari, still there, Ari?
Yeah, we're still here, Tom.
Just came in the mail, so.
Oh, right on.
Hand it over.
Yeah, Oren's by Pentel. That's they're the only ones I've seen that make them.
Thank you. That's it.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
It's Marion. I'm new to this, and this tracing business has me a little flummoxed.
Okay, let's have a...
Well, okay. So what I'm wondering about is like when you trace, what kind of pencil do you use? What I found is that I get a very smudgy tracing. Like I used a soft pencil because I thought I wanted to transfer. And then I did manage to get it to transfer, but it was really sort of smudged all over the place. And now I'm trying to go back and put in lines, but it's so sort of smudgy. And my feeling is that I may be missing, since I don't do this kind of work that often, I feel like I don't know intuitively what softness of pencil to use when and where. And I wondered if you have any general guidance for that.
Well, I find like 2 or 3B are the optimum. They're a good size, but then it does depend on what scale you're working. So if it like for the scale that we're working, I would say a 2 or 3B. 2 or 3B pencil.
Okay.
But then like, if it's a bigger scale, sometimes I use, you know, like if it was the same drawing but twice the size, I might go for a softer pencil because you've got so much to transfer then that you want something easy to. But yeah, it's all about the line, right? But it is just like a little light and smudged, and you have to redraw it on the, and you do have to be a bit careful not to smudge it with your hand as well. It's just the nature of it. There are other ways you can do it. For example, for Easnick tiles, they'll take that one unit and then put loads of holes along the lines, like pinprick it, and then they can counter design. I think you probably do that in structure as well. So yeah, there's just not really, if you go any less, you know, if you go HB or any less, if it's too hard, it just won't transfer. So you have to find the balance.
Okay, I'll just keep trying.
Yes, also noticed that
like anything, it's a matter of practice and trial and error.
Yeah. Okay. I noticed that on the tracing, you needed to weave one of those knotworks on the band.
Okay, like which? Okay, should I show you again?
Yeah, no, I can
point it out maybe.
Yeah.
Didn't.
On the actual on the finished piece.
On the finished piece.
Yeah. Okay, I'll show you. 1 second. So,
is it at the top there? Yeah, I hadn't figured out quite how to do that yet. Okay, so that's where I want that to go out.
Like this one over here. Just cut.
Right.
Same thing all the way around.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you.
No problems. You could, if you trace it on your
plug it in.
I'm gonna do it in a minute.
Can I do it? We're making good power right now.
No, like this.
How do we do that?
So you just want to trace it like that, and then, you know, so it's always woven.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. How are you doing, Tara? How's it going out there?
It's good. Things are good. Everything's fine. I'm having almost the exact same problem that Marion is having, I think, because so I have this weird thing like right in here. It bugs me that there's 3 going into 4. I don't get that right in there. And my tracing, when we flipped and did something, I don't know, backwards or re-overlapped or whatever.
I had a feeling like that might just cause a bit of confusion, but I just kind of carried on regardless.
So now I'm having trouble reversing or changing that back, or I don't know what, but
yeah.
But I just don't get how those 3 turn into 4.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, like it's just.
Am I just missing something or what?
No, it's just that it's a thin line and then it turns into a thicker line. That's all. You know, it's a very thin line.
Okay, well, maybe I'm trying to do more of a freeway and not a plant.
What you did was
in
fine.
some way.
What you did is okay. Yeah, it's just that like the line turns into you could see it as it's just turning into a thicker line, turns from one into a thicker one for the band. That's
okay. Well,
yeah. It's only that if you trace it one way and then you turn it over to print it, the weave is going to be the opposite direction.
Right.
So that's why I needed to flip the weave back so that when I printed it, it was the same as the first drawing I did.
Right, and I'm having trouble doing that for some reason. I'm anti-dyslexic. I don't know what it is. It's sort of like I'm stuck in the no, it went that way, it went this way, and I'll work it out.
It's good for the mind.
I know what it's supposed to look like. It's just getting the tracing to match right, but it's good. It's fun. I thought that some of these designs, they reminded me of Northwest Coast Indian, like Haida figures.
I was thinking that, yeah, like the beak, the thunderbird beak.
Yes, and some of the simplification. I don't know. It's all sort of things are melding a lot more. It seems as though the stylistic tendencies after we went to Malaysia and then back to this, it's like all of a sudden that they're very connected.
Yeah, we're all connected.
So I'm liking it. So nice. It's fun. Thank you.
I hope you crack it in the end.
I will.
Get all tangled up.
Yep. Sometimes just getting away from it and then coming back is good too.
Yeah, definitely.
All gets clear.
Sometimes if you go away for too long, you never come back. That's what I find. So you got
Yes, I have all those other 30 drawings that that are waiting in the pile over there.
Yeah. Everyone's got like a whole exhibitions now. They've got a whole like stack of drawings ready to go.
I could make one heck of a collage with all that stuff.
Yeah.
The unfinished business of Adam Williamson's classes. It's great though. I like this biomorphic stuff. It's really fun. I like how you hung it on the structure there. That's great.
Yeah. And it just came together like that. It looks good. Oh, thanks, Tara. It's so nice to see you again.
Oh, you take care. Nice to see you too.
Have a good evening or morning. All right. Anyone else like to say hello? Anyone out there?
I'll say hello.
Oh, hello. All right.
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
I'm just transferring mine.
Okay. Oh, great. You've got a semi like already there.
Yeah, because otherwise it's, easier this way. So.
Great.
And I remembered I had some tea stained paper, so let's see what works out of it.
Yeah. Oh, great. Do you think you get around to painting tonight? Were you doing an all-nighter?
No, I have to work tomorrow, so I'm not doing an all-night. But, hopefully I'll get further than with the previous ones, but I'll get there sometime.
Did you get outside and roll in the snow?
No, I tend to fall on flat, clean surfaces, so when there's snow on the ground, it's not good for me. I stepped out to look at the snow, like, 2 steps away from my house, and I almost lived there. So it's like, nope, that's enough for me. But hey.
Oh, great. Well, I look forward to seeing how the pattern turns out on your tea stained paper.
We'll see if it works.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, then. You take care, hey?
Thanks, you too.
Okay. See you later. Anyone else like to say hello? Anyone out there? Oh, Alethea. Hey, how's it going? What? When did you do that? Nice.
Just a rough draft.
Oh, I did spot one. I spotted one weave that needs doing though. So I take a screenshot.
Sure.
Oh, that's great. Awesome. How's things?
I was also inspired by Ari, so I tried to do a smaller version, but I didn't go too small because I was kind of scared. So.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, there is a bit of weaving doing here. So you see how that's going over and then it goes over again. So I think that's the one there. This one If you, I think it's,
There's a couple of them. I can see them now.
oh no, not that. I think it's just one bit, like this, that's it there. Do you see those?
Yeah, it's all funny. I can always see them when I take a picture, but when I look at it, when I'm drawing it, I can't see them.
Yeah, it's the same one, yeah. And then, yeah, so once you got that, it's just the same one. Repeat. Yeah, but it's great. Yeah, now looking at the picture, the weave on the band's good and lovely. Yeah, super. The spacing's really nice. Maybe it could be, that's a little bit tight there, if I'm going to be really, but it's
I was
great.
just trying to get into the flow of making the motifs, so I did the whole thing, but this is just a rough. I'll do
Yeah.
another one.
Oh no, it's great. I love it. Sorry, I'm in like, I was being really hypercritical of the MA students last week because that's just what you got to do for them. I kind of still in that zone.
Great, actually, yeah. I love to hear any you know, critique on anything so that I can fix it.
Oh,
There's
super.
always room for improvement.
You managed to frame your Indo.
Yes, I
did. Painted and framed it. Crikey.
Yeah, it's just hanging there today, so I could show it to you, and then it'll go back into the real place where it's supposed to hang.
What does it hang usually?
I'm gonna put it in my bedroom, so yeah.
Nice. Oh, it's a real stunner. You've got gold in there too, right? Around the petals.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this one. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful pattern. Yeah.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Yeah, thanks for making the pattern so beautiful after we finished drawing them.
Oh, thank you.
Makes it all worthwhile. All right. Does anyone else out there like to say hello?
Hi Adam, it's Lieve.
How are you?
I had a small question since I have one line that's not going anywhere and it's not attached. I was in the middle, maybe, I'm not sure if you can see. Yeah. So here, this one, it's like not connected.
Oh yeah, you know, I think it's probably the same issue that Tara's having, that those lines, you know, the band where it's got two inside the band around the circle, that just merges into one line. That's the
Great.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, just into a thinner line, goes into the motifs.
You know, change that and add it to the pile of things I need to finish.
Yeah, I've still got your your print. It's great. I love it.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's really good. It's yeah.
Yeah, hopefully one day I can make some other print of some of these patterns. They're really gorgeous.
A really nice combination. The way that you get that kind of texture on the paper. Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of struggling to get it like symmetrical, but it's in the end it was like, okay, freehand, go for it, whatever.
Yeah. Nice work. Really nice. Yeah. Yeah, you should make a whole series of those.
Hopefully one day.
Yeah, there'll be a time. All right. All right. Well, is anyone else like to say hello before we tune out? Is that someone? Is that Renee? Hello. Is this your first class? Have we met before?
No, I've been taking them since since the beginning. I think I missed the very first class, and that was it. But am I muted? No.
We can hear you.
Did you? Hmm?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. I'll show you my drawing first. So there's my buy more. Oh,
wow.
There we go.
Lovely. Yeah. Really nice. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I've really enjoyed the classes, but I'm a little shy, so I haven't shown my work at all, but.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Thanks for plucking up the courage and coming to say hello. It's always nice to be behind the black boxes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, that's lovely work. I can really see that you must have been doing a lot of the classes because it's all super precise and the weave's good and everything's, yeah. Do you paint them as well?
Oh, thank you. No, I don't paint them. No, no, they basically stay like this. Sometimes I color them in with pencil crayon, but
yeah.
But I think I have painted one. one or two, but no, no, I'm not a painter, so I'm almost afraid to paint them and then ruin them, you know?
Oh, you should have a go, or even just put a very light wash on it, you know, like just color, you know, in places to enhance it a bit.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, I could try that.
Yeah. Oh, really nice to meet you. Thanks for turning us and saying hello to everyone.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks.
Where are you calling from?
I'm from Vancouver, BC,
yeah.
in Canada.
Yeah. Oh, nice. All right. Oh, I love it there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, me too.
I think we're coming up to 7 o'clock now, so it's a good time to say goodbye and have a lovely morning, evening, wherever you are. Look forward to seeing the finished results, the paintings, and keep up the good work. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.